probably cut all of that.
Yeah, no, I got you. No, that's not even. It's running, but that's
Okay.
like.
Gotcha.
No, I feel you.
Blackmail.
Exactly. You know, it'd be funny if we start talking, I just black it out.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, what did they say?
Yeah. What are they talking about?
Exactly.
Your lips moving. What the fuck?
Exactly. Like, don't worry about it, man.
Just don't worry about it.
For sure.
It's a secret.
Good. What's up, everybody? We're here at the Artisan Podcast, and I have another very good friend here, Miss Mariah Nicole. What up, though?
What's up?
True. No, don't. What's
Don't
up?
wave?
No, you can wave. Just give the people some of your real personality.
Okay.
Because you funny as hell on Instagram.
This is an Instagram.
That's all right. We out here now. We out here. And we're here today because she has a brand new EP coming out.
I do.
And it's entitled what?
Love Lessons.
Love Lessons.
The EP.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
We all learn a few lessons about love.
We sure do.
They hurt sometimes. Love is painful.
They do. It is painful.
Yeah,
it
man.
is.
And you know what? Sometimes you never know when you fall in love. It's just like you realize like, oh shit, I'm in love. And then it's like, oh fuck, well what do I do now? It's almost better being
And then you
ignorant about
realize
the whole
later,
thing.
why am I even in love with you in the first place? I don't get what my appeal was.
Sometimes it's bad. And so, I mean, so what? So, which is a real thing. We can get into that if you want to. But,
Oh man.
so what drove you to put this project together?
So it originally just started out as a partnership with my friends at Beatbox Entertainment, which is where I've been recording.
Where is that, by the way?
They're based out of Fort Knox Studio now. They moved locations.
Oh, that's at 21.
It's off of the Montrose Blue Line.
Dig. I actually shoot a lot of my podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
It's kind of like Music Garage, but I would say a little bit better, a little bit
it's
more
less
heightened. It's way more like all about the artists and the people, so I really love that. And they've been able to establish themselves there, which is really cool.
It smells like weed a lot less in there than a Music Garage.
Really?
I feel like it does. I feel like every time I go in a Music Garage,
Music Garage in so long.
I get like a contact high. I'm just be honest. Every time I roll up in there, and I'm just like, God damn, somebody is
sometimes you need to be
cheating.
able to regulate that.
For sure.
Have the option.
Yeah. I feel like that place is not nearly as bad.
Yeah, but it kind of just started like working out with them. Like, oh, I need to get back into my music. You know, the post grad lull of like, what do I do now? What's my goal? What's my direction? And then just getting caught up in paying the bills and doing the life thing and moving on and moving things forward. Not the, you know, how artists says you don't just graduate and get straight into career. I mean, some of us do, which is super awesome, but it's, we know the ratio on that. So just kind of got into like, I need to put music out. You got the studio. Awesome. Let's work together. Let's both learn some things together. And that's how we started working on this project.
No doubt.
Started out with just a couple singles, which 2 of them are out now.
Check them.
Check them. Mariah Nicole on all platforms. Free was the first single that we put out, and then after we put that out, we realized like, okay, we have like 6 to 7 different tracks that we've been putting a lot of love and energy to. Let's see how we can put this into an album, or an EP, like into a complete project. This last year and a half, I was in a very turbulent relationship, as the word I would use, from beginning to end. So I had a lot to say about that. And we started writing, like I started writing these songs. Some of them I wrote right when it was ending. Some of them I wrote after it ended.
Right.
Some of them I wrote just a couple months ago, just like reflection. So that's what I really love about this project. I've been telling everyone this is like my closure project. I just need to get it out. It's my first EP. I need to say some things. I need to try some things out and just put it out there.
I'm with that.
And also probably make my ex feel really bad.
Damn. What's his name? Since we're doing that.
Oh, I don't need to drop names. I don't give him too much credit.
Oh, damn, bro. You fucked up like that? How do you know it wasn't partly your fault? Oh, shit.
Ooh. Because I'm honest and transparent.
So, okay. You know, we're gonna segue.
Because I'm all about communication first, my loves.
So, I saw a
Did
Facebook
I catch you up?
post. Yes, well, somebody made a post the other day and said, it's not always about communication, it's about comprehension. And sometimes
that
people...
too, That's
and you
that's
know,
a
some
good one.
people, sometimes communication for some people is they want to be heard, you know, and they don't necessarily want to hear all the time,
Right.
you know, and you know, your kind don't always want to accept responsibility for things. So I'm gonna just kind of throw that out there. I'm not saying that's you. Probably was you a little
I took
bit.
a lot of responsibility.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
Fuck, man. Well, he just really fucked
Yeah,
up
it gets
then.
to a point. I mean, you can only cheat on somebody so many
Oh, it
times.
was one of them?
Yeah.
Damn.
Only so many times you can do that until
Shit,
you're like,
bro. Yeah, that's tough. No, that's damn.
yeah.
I'm not with that. So, you know,
You learn, you
So-
grow, you
you
move
do.
on, you write a project and you release
Boom.
it.
you know, some of the best music I've ever heard is always inspired by, you know, Turmoil.
Yeah.
And
Man,
the first one I
that's
was
the
thinking
truth.
about when you was telling me about that was Confessions by Usher.
Oh yeah.
Which to me is my favorite
That's
work
one of his
his.
best albums.
Yeah, like that whole album is just fire, and he's just like basically saying I'm sorry the
Yeah,
whole fucking time,
the
you
whole
know,
time.
because he just realized like I ruined a good thing, and it was super public, you know what I'm saying? So he
Yeah.
kind of got ahead of it, maybe more than it would have been had it just been like a reactionary thing.
Totally.
Or Usher is found cheating on another public figure. What's her name?
Right.
Is it Chili? What's up?
Shoot, I don't know. That
One of
was
the
so long
one
ago.
of the girls from TLC. It wasn't Left Eye T, but so yeah, it had to be Chili, you know. And that sounds like that's what you got going on here.
Kinda, except for I'm not apologizing.
Right, it's the other way around. It's the I've been wronged kind of thing.
Yeah.
So is this like an Adele level you fucked up thing? Is this kind of what this is like
I
bleeding
don't know.
over into?
So I have it broken up. I don't know if you saw the album artwork. I've kind of broken it up into chapters.
Oh shit.
So before each title of the song, I have like a chapter because it's love lessons,
Right.
as told by me and my experience. So first chapter is heartache, lover's lament. Second chapter is resentment. There's a song about that. Next song is closure. It's a song about that. The next song is temptation, getting over something new, seeing
Right.
something new. You're tempted now. You want to try out something new. That's the low key single that just came out. That's the single off the album, Low Key Lover, featuring Nam as well. Shout out to him for getting on that song with me. And then the last chapter is affirmation, and there's a song about that. So I really just, because that's just kind of like I was saying earlier, it's just I wrote this over a certain period of time. Throughout that period of time, you go through different headspaces,
Right.
and you're coming to terms with different things. So when it came down to like, how do I put this into one complete project, that's like the only way I could visualize it was in chapters, because I wrote this in chapters. I feel like I experienced it in chapters, so I feel like it's only right to just present it that way
Right.
as well.
Right.
So
I'm with it. Well, that'll probably allow people to connect with it too.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I don't think you can listen to this without realizing it's like a personal project.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when I was taking a lot of studying writing, one of the best things I read was the human experiences contained within all of us.
Yeah.
And that is essentially saying
Tapping
that,
into it.
yeah, well, everybody goes through the exact same things. There may be slightly different versions of them, you know what I mean? But everybody is going through heartache. Everybody is going through strife and doubt and hate and anger and all these different things. So
And
you
they're all
expressing
also
that.
like feeling new things, and
For
they're
sure.
curious, and they're
Absolutely.
excited, and
Absolutely.
then they're heartbroken again.
Well, because
But-
it's a cycle, you know.
But I got a song for you.
Hey, we out here. But yeah, man, it's gonna really help. I think a lot of people's gonna be able to connect with what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I can only hope.
Yeah, for
But like
sure.
I said, it's kind of like a closure album for me, so I'm happy just getting it out.
No
You know, it's one
doubt.
of those things where it's just like, I love that I'm being able to put it out for everyone else to absorb for their own reasons and for their own take on it, but I couldn't, I'm happy just getting it out there too. So,
No doubt.
yeah.
So I've talked to a few other people that we actually know coming, and they've also done a lot of EPs.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the release of Stress now that it's done? You know,
Well, I'm
because
still
it's
stressed. It's coming out on Friday.
True.
It's like finishing touches are still there, but I don't think that stress really ever goes away until you get that email that says all your things are live on iTunes, live on Spotify. It's like, okay,
Right.
it's out there. I feel like this is my least favorite part. Is like the couple days leading up to putting it up on for distribution, because
Right.
it's like, oh my gosh, do I want to change that? Do I want to change this detail? Do I like
Right.
this? Do I feel good about this? Like that demoitis kind of like
Yes.
feel like, oh my God, like, is everything wrong? You know, all the self-doubt hits you all at once. So just kind of like wrap it up, package it, and just shove it away. Now we're done. It's just got to be out. But definitely a stressful process. But I would say there's things I've learned from this process. I've never done it before. You always have to go through your first EP. You got to go through your first music video. You got to go through your first everything. Got to go through your first heartbreak, your first breakup. So there's a first for everything, and there's a lot that I've taken away from this experience, and I'm excited to come at it again for my next project with a more like level grounding of like what to expect and what not to expect, you know, because I just kind of walked into it like, I mean, I've heard how it goes, but everybody's experience is different. Depends on who you're working with, depends on if someone's giving you the money or you're funding the money, you know, it's all different. There's a lot of variables, but I've enjoyed the process. I would do it again. Would I change things? For sure. But,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely would change things, but I'm happy with how things have been turning out.
That's what's up. So what advice would you have to somebody who has yet to put a complete project together? Or even somebody that's releasing their first single? You know, there's a lot of new artists coming out and taking that leap every single day. Right now, somebody's uploading music right now for the first time.
Right.
And somebody's thinking about doing it, you know.
Right.
What advice would you have to somebody who's who's deciding, this is what I want to do?
I think something that I probably should have heard more, told myself more, was stop worrying about everybody else.
Oh my God.
You know, the oversaturation. Like it's so saturated now. Like
Definitely.
Like you just said, everybody's uploading music. You don't need a distribution deal to be.
You don't.
I'm not signed to a label. I literally upload my things in there. I use DistroKid and it's uploaded to all platforms for me within 48 hours.
They do that?
Anybody can do that.
Wow.
So you don't need a label anymore
for sure.
to be on Tidal and all these things. Like anybody can do it. So one, that's intimidating. Don't be intimidated, I guess, and just don't second guess yourself. Like if you feel like you want to put something out and you feel passionate about it, do it. Don't worry about how it's going to be received. I think I deal with even now, just like I don't know how it's going to be received. I don't know if it's going to come off the way I want to. This and that and. What are people going to think? Are they going to like it? Are they not? It's like, screw all that. Put it out, you know, because you might really, like, change someone's perspective on something. You might find a new lane for other people who are trying to do the same thing you are. So don't get caught in a genre. Don't feel like you have to hold to any specific anything. Just put yourself out there, I would say.
Wow, that's deep. You know, Bernard Purdy was just here at Columbia. Columbia, that's your one shout out. And that's one of the first things he said was one of the last things you just said was don't get stuck in any one type of music.
Right.
It's like whatever you're thinking about doing, just go ahead and create it.
Right.
Because you never know where that might lead you. And also, you know, I, for the longest time, even now to some degree, still consider myself to be somewhat of a jazz traditionalist.
Right.
And that just shoehorns you into like these things that it's like, oh, this doesn't sound like something John Coltrane would have did, you know?
Right.
Which is kind of ridiculous to say because even within his own time, he was contemporary, always doing something new. But you start holding yourself accountable to things that happened 60, 70 years ago, or even 20 years ago, and it's like, man, that nobody really even cares anymore.
Right.
You know, like, and that might not be you. We're all influenced by all these different sounds.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
We hear so much music every day, even when we don't realize we're hearing music.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's part of your library of sounds now.
It's all an adaptation of something.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, it's always like a copy and paste of something and an adaptation of something. So, the whole, like, what is original? What is an original thought? What is an original chord progression? What is an original phrase? Like, come on.
Right.
Like, pop music now?
Oh, my God. Don't get me started.
You know, when I upload my stuff, I put it, they ask me what genre, I just put pop because anything could be pop now.
Definitely.
I'm like, I'm not going to worry about making myself R&B soul or this or that or dance or anything. No, just pop. Because Taylor Swift is pop.
She's
Khalid is pop. Right, like you could be anybody. I mean, Young Thug could be on a pop album these days.
Honestly, I think most rap music that you hear on the radio is pop music. To be totally
Drake.
honest,
Drake makes pop songs.
he 1000% makes pop songs.
So I'm like, I'm pop too.
Fuck it. We're in a pop club.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I graduated with contemporary, urban, popular music.
Boom.
Columbia. Second shout out. No more.
We'll knock a little something off that boy. All right. So since we're talking about that, what influences did you have? Like, what kind of got you into like this is like the first kind of genre of music that I fell in love with, or even artists, or a set of sounds that you found like interesting?
I think I wouldn't say it's one specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been my least favorite question of who's your favorite artist?
Sure.
Or what's your favorite style? I'm like, I don't know. My playlist, my most recently playlist has everything from Erykah Badu to Def Leppard to AC/DC to Coltrane. You know, like, you don't know, like, I listen to a little bit of everything. There's the Drake song, there's the new Miley Cyrus song. Like, it just, I'm always trying to hear everything to see what everyone else is doing, you know? Because I love to see, like, how people are doing things. Like, new artists like Anderson .Paak and people like that who are just, like, creating these new lanes. That's like, oh, cool, but people are into that. They're receiving that. So we can do the same thing. I think, you know, I was born and raised in Alaska, so I was definitely in kind of like a more sheltered environment of what I was hearing, what I was doing. I was a choir girl, I was the band girl, you know, band class, choir class, took my piano lessons, had my vocal lessons. Shout out to mom and dad, you're the best for paying for all of those.
Good looking
Oh
out.
my gosh.
I don't
Wouldn't
think
be here
people
without
realize how invaluable that experience is.
Yeah, I mean,
especially once you start putting out your own music.
yeah.
Like having that base of information, like on all the different styles.
Like all those voice lessons and piano lessons from age 4 to 18 every week.
That puts you
like,
so much further ahead than your competition. So much further ahead.
Yeah, so you really have to shout out to the people who got you here, right? But mom and dad forever. But also with that, I think it took me coming to Chicago, and coming to Columbia was a huge, like, whoa. Like, everyone's super talented.
Some freaks out here, man.
Everyone, you know, like,
freaks,
oh
man.
my gosh,
Yeah.
like, oh, this is jazz. Oh, this is gospel. I had never been exposed to gospel music. I mean, I had been exposed to some jazz. I had studied it, but not like you have it here. You have, like, true jazz heads and true gospel heads. We had Kirk Franklin in here as a guest teaching classes, you know? So
big deal.
That it's big stuff like that. So I think my influence has progressed just from, like, the time of me being in one place as, like, a singer-songwriter, like, more folky, maybe more just the Adele-ish, like, playing on the piano and singing, to now, like, I've worked with a couple different people, I've studied a couple different genres, I've been intrigued by a couple different things, so now it's like, oh, I want to work with a hip-hop artist. Oh, I want to sing over, like, a mixed track with a beat on it. Oh, I want to do some keys for this, do some synth for that. Like, I want to adapt my sound, explore with it. How many ways can I layer my voice, you know, like on a, you know, there's so many options. How do you adapt your voice in a studio? Also, this project has been, like, my first really hands-on experience in a studio setting. And as a vocalist...
Holy fuck.
Right. As a vocalist who's mostly performed in live settings, which... one is not the other. Performing in a vocal booth versus performing on stage is a completely different thing. I have so much respect for people who only do studio recordings, and I have so much respect for people who only do, you know, stage. But when they have to cross over and do the opposite, I see why people struggle.
Yes.
So I'm grateful for the experience I've had with my live performances. I have to take it into the booth and take it into all of that with that mindset, but also adapt it in a way that's like, oh, this is recording.
Yeah, because all things are not like the other.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, just breathing. You can take the biggest breath you can on stage.
Right.
You do it in a studio, it's like, and you're like,
edit that out
what
for
the fuck was that? Did you go through how long did it take you to get used to your voice?
I still feel like I'm getting used to it. Mm-hmm. I was always, something that always stood out to me about my private vocal lessons is they told me off bat, like, your voice is going to change another 3 times before the age of 35 as a female vocalist.
Yeah.
So I have to take that into consideration and not get upset when I notice that my voice is changing. I was a soprano for so long, and then I started getting more alto, and now I'm more of a mezzo, and then learning how to, you know, explore those sounds and be strong in them, and, you know, that whole, like, definition of what are you? I'm glad I got away from that, because I was like, oh, I'm a soprano, so that's all I sing, and oh, I'm an alto, so that's all I do, da-da-da. No, actually, you can do whatever if you, this is my range.
Right.
You know, and then learning how to use that to your best strengths.
Right.
What was your question?
I mean, that was you pretty much. We got it and we danced around it, all of that. So, because I was actually recording. I just recorded some vocal stuff, and I swore I sang in tune all the time. Well, at least for the most part.
Right.
You know what I mean? Until I wasn't in the studio, and I was just like, I'm like, what the fuck? So, like, this is kind of take you behind a curtain kind of thing. So one thing I have to do is I have to sing with one ear free.
One earphone, absolutely. Anybody who doesn't do that, don't trust them.
Yeah, like I
don't trust somebody who doesn't sing with one ear off.
Yeah, because one thing I realized when I have both of them on, I sing flat the entire time. Which doesn't make sense to me.
I've always wondered if it has something to do with like the delay that you're getting in the mic, like just like how you're hearing your voice. Like maybe if you're recording with a reverb on it, that changes things.
Right. I also think it's kind of how I'm hearing, because it was like both voice and piano. That's what I just did. And shout out to Martez.
Martez!
I know, right? Yeah. Got soft spot.
He probably hates me.
No, don't feel bad.
He was chasing me down for some salmon a while back.
Oh,
I didn't have any.
Oh, shit.
I might have not have answered him.
He'll get over it. Hopefully he doesn't see this.
I love you so much.
I know, right? Right there, big dog. Right there. But yeah, so I couldn't tell if it was the way I was hearing the piano through the recording, or like you said, if it was me the way I was hearing my own voice. But
you
the whole thing.
With Martez?
I did.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You know what? When you're the one.
I would have been so anxious. He went flat, sharp.
Well, you know what it was. I think he was having trouble hearing me too.
Martez has perfect pitch, not just perfect pitch, but perfect pitch.
Yeah, he's kind of perfect at almost everything.
He is perfect at everything. It's wild. That's the only person I can probably say that about.
Yeah, he's a fucking animal, man.
Perfection. He used to scare me. Not anymore. Now I literally love him. Yeah. 2 years of Chicago Vox is probably the best thing I could have ever done for myself.
I don't think any singer that comes through this school should ever not take at least a half a semester.
If they can survive.
Yeah, because it is a fucking grinder, bro.
Not a lot of people survive the whole semester
true.
or the whole year.
Yeah, that was kind of me for a second. And
where was you for a second? You did start and then you dipped out.
Well, I mean, I was in
bye.
A bunch of fucking ensembles. I just didn't have time.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, but that's how it is when you.
We were desperate at that point, though. We just needed men's voices.
True. Which is also, you know what? Male singers is kind of weird, right? So if you're not doing like the male R&B thing, it's almost like, oh well, what you yeah, like what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, and even in the male R&B thing, unless you're talking about like fucking the whole time, I don't really know what you do. You know what I'm saying? So the whole male vocalist thing is odd. I guess you could do, this kind of goes into theater. You could do opera, right? But even then, man, like I don't know too many men here that are even doing that kind of thing.
Like,
you know?
Yeah, here is a lot of musical theater, a lot of jazz, and a lot of gospel R&B.
Very true, man.
A lot of gospel.
You know, a lot of gospel, and
I get
a quick shout out to gospel singers. You like can't be a gospel singer unless you're like basically a virtuoso, almost, because you better have all the fucking chops. Because there's somebody on YouTube that can fucking blow. That is like working the cash register at fucking Walmart.
I'm so glad I don't have to worry about competing in that world. I took two years of gospel choir.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Walters.
Walter, you the fucking man, dog.
Really are.
Like,
Walter
for
Owens.
real. Yeah.
Changed my life and my perspective on a lot of things. But yeah, I'm just glad that I was like, okay, like I'm glad that I dipped my toes in it, and I experienced it, and I challenged myself, and I hit those notes, and I explored that chest voice and all of that. But I'm glad I don't have to worry about competing.
Seriously.
Because it is so thick, especially here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like when you find someone who can really, really blow their socks off, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Go get it.
Fucking scary.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
Like, where do you fucking come from? Yeah, because And from a musician, it's weird because
It's all about the chops.
Yes.
Who can slay the solo the hardest?
Seriously.
Even though I've heard the argument that like people are sick of that, like don't overdo a solo, just do it.
Right, until somebody does it.
Chops.
Sure, but what if that person slays it and they have all the chops?
Right.
Which they're out there, they're just walking around out here, and you don't even know, you don't even know that they have that until they open their mouth. You're like, oh fuck.
Right.
That's a thing.
Right. That's what I mean. Like when I came here with my little singer-songwriter self, I was
right. Like you were like
I
shit in
am
Alaska.
nobody.
Yeah, I was just shit in Alaska.
I can't sing for shit.
Yeah.
Who am I? Coming to be like, I can sing soprano and alto and I know harmonies.
Right. No, that's funny as hell.
Reading music helped me a lot here. I feel like that definitely was a good thing to have under my belt. Was being able to read music and get through theory classes. Mm-hmm. How? I don't know, but I did it.
Well, you know what? I think
oral skills.
Man, that's a big deal. Oral skills. Yeah.
AURAL.
That part.
But
there was a lot of talented people that couldn't
failed
swim in the deep
classes.
water with all the talent in the world, and you're like, what the
blow
fuck?
me on stage.
Yeah, man. But like, it's weird, right? Like, there's like these humps that, like I said, it pays.
That's why you can't measure talent like that.
No, you can't. You can't.
So.
That's an academic thing. We're not going to get into that right now. Yeah. Well, we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to start talking about some other shit.
Okay. What?
Let me ask you a question first.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. What's up? Oh man,
we're back.
We're back. It's true. All right, so I got some new questions for you, and one of the things we were just talking about is singers and how some people have a whole lot of natural talent, and how some people may have that talent, but they don't have the theoretical knowledge or the skill base, right? Because there's a difference between talent, with something that God just gave you, and skill, which is how you cultivated that God-given ability. So if you're a singer, of any age, maybe not necessarily college age, because, your ability doesn't necessarily just go away, and and you decide that, I want to start some kind of music career. Mm-hmm. What advice would you have for somebody who's looking to go down that route? Would you suggest college? Would you suggest lessons? Mm. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, but what are your thoughts on it?
Right. So, I mean, as somewhat I can only speak on my experience. I was, shout out to mom and dad earlier, had the privilege of having private vocal lessons for a long time. So when it came to deciding what I wanted to do for college, all I really knew was the arts. Mm-hmm. So I was like, guess I'm going to go into that.
Right.
I'm already on the professional route. I've got all this under my belt. This just makes the most sense to me. However, after going through that process, also backtrack, I think you asked the question, like, singers. One of the questions that stood out to me with one of my first lessons here at college was, do you want to be a singer or do you want to be a vocalist? Mm. And that really resonated with me, like with what you said, like natural talent and like book talent.
Right.
Because anybody can be a singer. You can be, you can do the wedding band thing. You can do whatever, or you can be. Or do you want to be a vocalist who can read the sheet music, who can walk into a rehearsal on point and have all your things memorized, know all the phrasing, know all the parts on the music, are able to cue your musicians behind you, can set up your own rehearsals, can you create your own tech writer, do you do your own warm-ups, do you know your music theory? Like that's kind of like how I started viewing things, was like, do I want to be a singer or do I want to be a vocalist? Do I want to be a singer or do I want to be a vocalist? And I think singer a lot of times is a really bad rep in music because the singer is usually just singing. Mm-hmm. They're singing the melody or whatever. They're getting all the attention because you're the front man, and they're not really having to do much but come in and sing a melody or sing a song. So I just never wanted to be put in that I wanted to make sure that I had the chops to be respected as more than just a singer. Like,
right.
Oh, she knows her shit. She's coming in here prepared, and she knows how to prepare herself.
Right.
So I think when coming to the question of what do you want, like whether or not to go to college, is decide like, do you feel like you already have those tools, and if you do you want to make that a full-time thing outside of what you're already doing? Because yeah, there was times where I was like, maybe I should have gone into psychology and kept
Right.
music as my side hustle. I think about that every day. If I had known,
Right.
I might have done that.
No,
I might have not. Actually, I can say that for a fact. I wouldn't have gone to school solely for music. I probably would have flipped it.
Yeah.
Took a different major, made music the minor.
Right.
Just because I didn't realize that you don't. I mean, that kind of goes for anything now these days. You don't need a degree to define who you are, to
Right.
define success or failure or a career. There's people out here who have never gone to school and they're top Billboard
Right.
100 right now.
Right.
You know? So when you look at that, you kind of have to, I feel like maybe ask yourself the question of what do you want to do in music? Do you want to be a composer? Do you want to be a singer-songwriter? Do you want to be a backup singer? Do you want to learn like studio stuff? Do you want to be an ensemble singer? Like there's so many different questions to ask yourself, I think, first before you decide what lane I want to go to career-wise with school. I think in today's climate, whatever you go to college for, you better as hell be passionate about it, because you're going to spend an arm in a leg and you're going to have debt for the rest of your life unless you got full
real.
ride or somebody's paying for you. But shout out to you if you have that. But there are some questions I wish I would have asked myself sooner. I think I was just so eager to try something new, to come to the big city.
Right.
I'm a singer, this is what I know, so I'm good at. But then like you get there and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much saturation.
Right.
How am I going to stand out? So yeah, it's intimidating, but ask yourself those questions. Where do you see yourself? Where do you want to see yourself? No, I don't think college is a requirement to find success in music.
That's real. One of the things
And
I'm
that's
learning,
just the truth.
and it's just,
It's what do you want for yourself?
Yeah.
If you want to challenge yourself, absolutely go to music school. If you want to cry blood, sweat, and tears over some music theory, go to school and you will learn it and you will love it and you'll embrace it and you'll feel like a badass afterwards. But if you don't feel like you need that to validate whatever you're doing
Right.
for your music, if you're already getting views on your Instagram videos and you're already getting followers on your Spotify, like, you don't need a degree to show someone that you're a serious artist.
right.
You know?
For
so
sure. I just want to throw in two things.
Everybody's
on what
path
you
is
said.
different.
It's super important to figure out, like, how to build your own lane.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And maybe you can like travel the path that somebody else traveled, but this kind of goes back to what you were saying as far as like limiting yourself to a genre.
Mm-hmm.
Don't limit yourself to like how you gain exposure. You know what I'm saying? Or figure out what it is, like whatever niche you're in as far as like getting out there. You know,
Right.
because man, like it's one thing to have all the ability in the world and all the technical facility. Like, so let's say you got
Right.
the education and you got the skill set behind you, right?
Right.
But man, we both know people who have a lot of that, but they're working 2 other side jobs, which is a total respectable thing. Right? A lot of us are out here doing that, but
Hey.
same. But how do I create the lane for my artwork to be displayed? And that's
Right.
something that we have to think about. And a lot of times in music school, unless you go the music business route, we don't really learn that because we're learning how to do and not how to go get money,
Right.
which is maybe more important than being good in the
How
studio.
to fill out a work for hire. How do you do that?
Man, like, how do I promote myself?
Yeah.
Like, how do I learn to collaborate? How do I publish
How do I
my
learn
own
how to ask
music?
for help?
Yeah, no, seriously. How do I be a
Yeah.
good hang? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Which is real. The
Yeah.
second thing I want to say is, as far as the singer and vocalist thing, and they're both very valid
Yeah.
paths, right? Like they can both get you paid.
Right.
I
Exactly.
I definitely say, like, if you're a singer and you have all the ability in the world, you'll always be limited by what someone kind of serves you, right? So if you run into a really
By what
great
you can
producer,
do.
exactly. If if you meet a great producer and a great engineer and a great songwriter, that's great for you because these things are surrounding you. But unless you get brought those things or you luck into those things, you'll never be able to create that for yourself. Yeah. So you'll always be limited by the amount of things that you can produce. You know what I'm saying? And
you just might find it harder, yeah.
Yeah, it may take you a lot longer. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you're going to run into that like wall of either creativity or finance. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I don't have a songwriter. I could write some stuff, but you know, like you know how to do that. It's like, oh man, I got that in the bag. You know what I'm saying? But if you can only sing, you're going to be limited by, like I said, by the amount of things that
are available to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just something to think about, all you singers out there. But back to why we're really here. You have an EP coming out.
Yes.
When?
I do. It should be live on Friday, July 5th.
True.
On all platforms. I feel like Tidal takes a little bit longer to put up. They always like put everything up like a day or two after my selected date. I've noticed. I don't know if they just have more approval to go through.
Maybe.
I don't know what Jay-Z's up to, but
Come on,
well.
Jigga, man. Come on,
they
bro.
somehow still pay the most though, as far as royalties. So I'm gonna still put it up there.
Absolutely.
July 5th, it will be out on Friday, live on Friday, and then on Sunday, this Sunday, July 7th, will be my release party. So I'll be performing, and I'm gonna have some guest performers as well. A good friend of ours, Jasmine Fountain's going to be performing.
Shout out to
Jasmine,
the homie.
Also an alumni here. The rapper I worked with, Nam, he is on my Low Key Lover track. He will also be performing a set, as well as Morgan Gold, she's a little bit younger than us.
Okay.
She might still be in school. I'm not sure. But she's really dope. Like, she's really, like, defining a lane for herself. She's creating her own stuff. She's kind of got, like, that producer, singer. She's got it going. So she's definitely got a vibe. And she's going to be there as well, doing a set, too. So there's going to be live performances. There's going to be live DJ going the whole time, setting the mood. We're going to have drinks. There's going to be a back little garden area that is 420 friendly.
Hey.
And all that jazz. So
where is it? It's
going to be... address 3012 West Belmont. It's the Auxiliary Art Center. It's right off of the Belmont Blue Line. If you're a Chicago person, you're familiar with Kuma's Burger Bar, the restaurant. A lot of people know what that is. Well, it's like 2 blocks down the street from Kuma's, if that means anything to you.
So you can go before or after and get some
there's
food.
hella food nearby. So it's kind of a really cool collective art center that anybody can use the space for anything, and we're doing it for that. So it's gonna be decorated. It's gonna be drinks. Just 21 up. But if you are really set on coming, just shoot me a message and I'll get you on the list. It's not a problem. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. I'm not gonna turn anybody away just because they're not 21.
Is it fee to get in?
It is free to get in. It is a free event.
Slide.
So you can't say no.
Slide.
It's on a Sunday, but I made it 8 to 12. You're going to be up till midnight anyways on a Sunday. You know you're not going to bed early.
Facts. What are people doing Sunday night anyway?
Coming to see my show.
Bam. Be there.
Be there.
God damn it. So, other than the EP, is there anything else coming up for you? Any other shows?
That's the next step. Is like, okay, so now that I've been so like tunnel visioned on this and getting this out, it's like, what is the next step? Probably booking shows, just getting out there. So that's definitely my focus for the rest. While we still have good weather, I want to be out here performing.
Oh my God. God, just let this last.
I'm reaching out to that. I'm keeping my eyes open for that. So, yeah, shows are definitely my focus here on out. So I need to book. Got to book. And when I get those booked, you'll know about them.
Hey, you got a video. Is that almost done? Is it coming? What's
I finished shooting. We finished shooting the music video yesterday. I shot with Shalette. Shout out to the homie.
He's getting all the Columbia work.
He really is, but as he should.
Yeah, he's
well
good.
deserved. He does a really great job. Him and his team, they took my vision and expanded it better than I could have ever visioned it. And they really delivered an awesome experience. So it's off to the editors. We finished this last night. So I should have something within the next 2 weeks.
That's what's up.
And then there'll be some visuals for you guys. So I'm
excited to see
really,
that.
really excited about that.
That's dope.
So, yeah.
That's what's up. So where can we follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram. I still go by Mariah_AK Grown, like Alaska Grown. Unfortunately, the Mariah Nicole handle is taken by somebody that has no posts, no followers, and no following. They're like I feel like someone maybe is just trying to like, I don't know.
Make you pay for it or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking into it. I like filed a case to see if there was, because you can do that. You can like
Really?
ask for a specific handle. Like if accounts are like inactive and it's just like a empty username, I know there's a way you can do that. So I'm working on that. But as for right now, Mariah, MARIAH _AK Grown, GROWN. Because I was born and raised up in Alaska.
What was that like?
That's
Before
a
I let you
broad
go.
question.
Okay, what was your favorite part about growing up in Alaska?
I think my favorite part, the summers are totally my favorite part. This is what it looks like at 11 o'clock at night. So the summers are amazing. The fresh food, the fresh seafood, you can't beat it. Just catching something the same day that you eat it, there's nothing like it.
A lot of tuna up there or
no? No, we don't have tuna.
Fuck.
No, you gotta go to a warmer climate for that.
True.
Hawaii's got tuna.
Hawaii does have
We do
tuna,
go
and
fishing
I
for
lived
tuna.
there for 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's
We love our
really
ahi and our mahi mahi.
Yes. See,
Love it.
that's how I know you a real seafood eater, because they don't. People who call it tuna, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Do you want
know,
yellowtail? Do you want hamachi? Do you
Look
want
at that.
ahi?
Look at
Do you
that.
want mahi?
Yeah.
What would you like?
Yo, some of the best seafood I ever had was out there. Actually, the best tuna I ever had was in Samoa.
Oh, I would
It
believe
was
that.
fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Also, swordfish out there. Do y'all get that up there?
No.
Oh man, that's too bad.
Still warm climate.
Oh,
But
really?
we've got the salmon, we have the halibut, we have the king crab, we have like
Oh, look at that.
everything else.
I'm with that. Wait, crab?
Rockfish, king crab.
In Alaska?
That's the only place you can get king crab is from the Bering Sea in Alaska.
Fuck.
Ever watch Deadliest Catch?
I didn't know it was in Alaska.
That's
I don't
filmed
watch
in
a
the
whole lot of
Bering
TV.
Sea. The
with that.
Time Bandit docks in my hometown.
That's what's
my
up,
dad
man.
did fish on that boat at one point.
That's what's up.
Small world.
Yeah. That's a good look.
So
That's
I
a
was
good
raised
look.
by a fisherman, so I definitely miss the water. I miss the mountains. I miss the fresh air. It is the freshest air you will ever breathe. It is the freshest, cleanest water you will ever drink, especially if you're getting the glacial water. And even the winters, it's dark, and people ask me, like, how did you get to the winters? As someone who's born and raised there, I was used to it.
Right.
It's
normal.
wintertime.
It's dark.
It's dark.
Right.
You bake more.
Mhm.
You read some more books.
Right.
You do, but you also learn to have fun in the winter.
Definitely.
And then when summer comes, it's it's a free for all. You're out on the beach on a bonfire till 2 a.m. The light's still up. So.
That's what's up, man.
And you're eating the fish that you caught that day, so you can't really be mad. I hate being so far away. I wish it was a more accessible place for me to go. I wish I could just hop back and forth on the weekends. But it's 3,700 miles away.
How much is it to fly back and forth?
A lot, but I use miles.
Oh, smart.
However, we were just looking at my tickets maybe a month or so ago. You really have to plan like you're going to Europe.
No,
Treat it
you
like
do.
that.
You do.
Treat months in advance, especially because everyone wants to go in the summer.
Right.
So everyone's trying to get tickets in the summer. If I didn't use miles, my ticket probably would have been around $1,200 round
I was
trip.
gonna say, for
It'll
me
be
to
over
come back and forth to
$1,000.
Chicago, I say on average I probably spent about $1,100.
Yeah.
And my dumb ass
Absolutely.
always bought them 2 weeks before, and I should
Yeah.
have been doing it. Well.
If I'm gonna leave somewhere in July, I definitely want to have those bought by April, May.
Yeah, for sure.
No later. And I'm going in August, so we bought those end of May, and now I'm going in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not gonna be able to go home for the 4th or anything like that?
No,
God
that's
damn it.
tomorrow.
It is.
It's gonna be raining here.
Oh, is it really?
It's supposed to be raining all day tomorrow.
Fuck, bro. It's gonna ruin all the fireworks.
But you know what though? 4th of July in Chicago is kind of a new thing for me too, because in fireworks for 4th of July, you don't get that back home in Alaska. It's too light out to see fireworks.
Oh shit.
So
man,
the
I never
only
thought
time,
about that.
people will shoot them off, but it's a waste of money.
Yeah,
Fireworks are
yeah.
expensive. Why
They
would
are
you do that?
expensive.
So, however, New Year's in Alaska is a whole other thing.
Really?
If anybody goes big on fireworks, it's for New Year's Eve.
Wow,
in Alaska. It's
that's
dark.
what's up. Yeah.
July, I'm so when I moved here, I was oh, that's right. I can actually see the fireworks. It's like a real fireworks show.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Chicago has fireworks every Wednesday and Saturday during the summer at Navy Pier, that blows my mind too. I don't know who's funding that. Our tax dollars? Is that our tax dollars?
I have no idea. That's a good fucking question.
I should probably go see those more often and enjoy them more.
Exactly. Go straight on the beach and just watch that.
Where are you getting those from? Indiana?
Exactly. Fucking A, bro. That's funny as hell.
Because we can't even buy those here.
We can't. I definitely go to Indiana every year. Not this year because I got a fucking adult bills to pay. But
yeah, man.
I used to spend like $3,000.
Easy, on some fun.
For real.
And then you blow them all up in 1 hour.
And literally. And then motherfuckers who don't even be putting in, nah, dog.
No,
this is my
I'm setting it off.
Exactly. Look at me, motherfucker. Yo, one underrated thing about Alaska. I never went there. My ex used to live there.
Okay.
And she used to send me pictures and whatnot.
Yeah.
Literally one of the most beautiful places in the world.
It is. I tell everyone to try and go.
World.
There's no place like it. Alaska's one of those, I mean, it's so big. You really have like every microenvironment in one state. You have the interior, which in a lot of ways we describe as like the desert areas, the flatlands. It gets really hot in the summer, really negative cold in the winter.
Wow.
You have the North Pole. We literally have the North Pole, so you can imagine what that's like. You have like the South Central, that's where I'm from. It's more temperate, more moderate weather. We have the summer and the winter. You have like the rainforest part of Alaska, which is like Sitka, Juneau, all those little islands down there. It's just in the summertime, it's a rainforest. It rains all summer, and it's beautiful, and it's lush, and it's green, and it's crazy. So you have all these like different environments all in one state. It's wild that we're one state. It's kind of wild. The U.S. totally scammed Alaska.
It's kind of like
scammed Alaska.
They definitely did.
Scammed it.
They did it to the French. They did it to the Mexicans. Everybody got fucked up.
We got a pretty good deal, though.
Yeah.
We kind of make
I
up
wish
our
I
own
could
rules.
say I was mad, but I'm not. It's not my
We
fault
make up
either.
our own
Yeah,
rules.
it's like, whatever. It is what it is. Well, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate you shooting out
Those are
Alaska.
fun.
Yeah, man. I'm glad we actually got to talk about your EP.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, man. I actually haven't seen you in, I don't even remember last. Yeah, it's been at least a year, right?
At least.
Fuck,
Probably
man.
more than that.
Probably.
I feel like it's just because we keep in touch. Like, that's how I feel with everyone that I saw every day here at Columbia. And it's like, wait, have I seen you? But we've all stayed, like, shout out to social media, right?
Oh,
Like,
God, man.
Like, I haven't seen, like, my friends, like, when was the last time I guess I saw Jasmine a little bit ago. But, like, people like Dejari and all them and stuff like that I work with, like, every day. It's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm seeing them put out their stuff and they're doing their shows. And, like, we're all busy and we're all trying to do our own thing. And it's really cool to see everybody doing it. It's really cool to see that you're still here and doing this. And you got this podcast going. Like, it's just dope to see everybody still, like, chasing their goals, not getting discouraged after post-grad. And a lot of us are all still working together.
Definitely.
Like the amount of people that I worked with yesterday for this music video shoot, we were all Columbia. Even Ron, Ignat, who was doing my engineering and producing at Beatbox, he was a Columbia student at one point too. It's like there's all this inner,
man, for sure.
So if you end up going to Columbia, make sure you make those connections and keep them.
No doubt. Probably the biggest thing you can do at college.
Because those will be your best friends after. Depending on what lane they take after graduation.
No doubt. Low key, social
key.
media is like
Low-key
one of the
on
most.
all platforms.
Hey, check it out. But low key, the most beautiful thing that you were talking about social media is you get to keep up with your friends, and it's also the most.
It's like I don't know when the last time I actually physically saw you, but I feel like I've seen you.
Exactly. She's just doing the thing, right? It was like, that's how it was, man. Was you that? Like, nah, but I saw it though.
I saw it though.
But like, it keeps you like on your toes.
It really
you're
does.
like, oh fuck.
Oh man, she
This
put something
person,
else out.
yeah, it's like,
let me get mine out.
let me keep working, man. So
it's
yeah,
drive.
it is,
It's drive.
man. Like I swear to God, some of these people drive me crazy because they're like constantly working. I'm like, okay, let me get my ass up. I literally woke up the other day at like 2 a.m. Was like, let me just try to.
Let me just try something.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But at the same time, don't measure everyone else's success against yours.
Same.
Everyone's going through something. Everybody's taking their own path with something. That is my daily. That's why I tell myself daily. Like, don't worry. Just focus on yourself. Don't worry about all the other components. Just do your thing. Do it to the best of your ability for who you are, and you'll feel a lot better after you do it that way instead of worrying about everybody else. Take a breath. Take a breath.
You just dropped some serious knowledge right there.
Just take a breath.
And on that note, Guys, I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank Columbia for housing us.
Yes, shout out to Steve Hadley.
For sure, Steve.
Wish I got to
Good
see
looking
you.
out, man.
It's been so long. My mom says hi.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Steve. I saw Steve yesterday, actually. Day before yesterday. So that's
I
my
miss
guy.
everybody here.
Yeah, man.
I should probably come here more often. Too bad they won't let me.
Exactly. That's a whole other podcast that we're going to get to. Dr. Kim, I'm going to find you, and we're going to talk about this shit in person.
Can I get my money back?
He's like, no. But
or just give it to the people that deserve it.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
My teachers.
Yeah, no doubt. People are severely underpaid here.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but a lot of people are.
Yeah.
We talked about that earlier.
Majority versus minority.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. And on that note, like I said, guys, thanks for watching this. We got so much more content coming. Sunday, go check out Mariah for her EP, which is going to be at what place again?
The Auxiliary Arts Center, 3012 West Belmont, Sunday, 8 p.m. Free admission. But also, like, give me love and just download my EP on whatever platform you prefer. Mariah Nicole.
There it is.
I'll be there.
We're going to link all her information. We're going to link well, it probably won't be up by then, but we're going to try to get you to where her stuff is on there as well.
For sure.
And thank you for coming out and spending some time with me.
Thank you. Glad it worked out.
Yeah, me
Cool.
too. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll see you next time.
Peace.